Hello, everyone. Raymond Moore, Kilted Prepper. How's everybody doing? Hopefully, you are tuning in and hearing me okay. If you can, do me a thumbs up and let me know. Today, I just want to welcome everybody. I am using some new software, folks. So, hopefully, this is going to work fine. And hopefully, you can see me and hear me okay. But yeah, I've got some pretty fancy software here going on here, and I've got my little name and little uh you know logo up here and other things like that. But I'm pretty excited about using this new software. But do me a favor, if you're new here and you're just tuning in, like, subscribe, and subscribe and share, and then ring that little bell so that you know whenever I'm going to be doing a new video. And then all my community members who are coming into the room right now and everything, just thank you so much for being such wonderful community. I love your comments. I love the emails that you're sending me and everything. I'm really hoping to do more videos and it just help you so much. So big, huge news today, folks. I mean, big news. Oh my goodness. If you have not heard, and I posted it to my Facebook group or my Facebook page and everything, but Mexico has announced that it wants to join the BRICS nations. Folks, this is huge. And the BRICS nations are really moving fast. I mean, they are hitting it hard and they're working hard to basically be an alternative to the G7, or even possibly, uh, I hate saying this, maybe even replace the G7. But I know that's way, way, way out there. But there is a string of new countries that are wanting to join. United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Algeria, Argentina, Nigeria, and Mexico. And so what's happened here is, and if you guys really don't understand or get it already, hey Michael, how you doing, bud? It is our current administration that really has gotten us into this problem. And what they did was give hardcore sanctions to Russia. Now, I know a lot of people support this and everything like that, but what this has done is caused a whiplash effect and caused Russia to really buddy up to China. And now, what has happened is China and Russia are really doing some finagling and financial stuff together. And Russia's selling China oil, and instead of using the dollar, they're using the yuan, which is the Chinese currency. And because these sanctions are so strenuous or harsh, other countries have been watching what the U.S. is doing to Russia, and they've been going, huh, if they're willing to do it to them, will U.S. do that to us? And so it's made a lot of these emerging countries really start to take notice and get worried and everything. And so, because of this, the dollar is losing value, and many countries are dumping the dollar, and basically in lieu of the yuan. One of the things that we can see here today is, let's see, US dollar index. Now, I took this picture probably about 2 hours ago. I don't know what the current dollar index is doing, but we've been seeing a decline in the dollar index. And what that is basically the buying power of the dollar. But also, we see here is that gold and silver are definitely going up. And in fact, gold has hit the 2000 markers, even surpassed the 2000 mark. Silver touched above 25 today and then went back down. And so I don't know what the closing price was at this moment. Let's see, the markets are still open. In fact, the markets are getting ready to close here in a little bit. But silver is sitting at 24.95. So we're starting to see some thresholds here that are the gold and silver markets are definitely being affected by the slow decline of the dollar. And in fact, what we've been seeing is a lot of central banks are also starting to add, to their holdings, and what they're doing is they are starting to dump dollars, and what they're doing is buying gold. So we're seeing a huge move in the metals market going on right now. And if you haven't done so, I really, really highly suggest that you start looking at precious metals, because all this is moving really fast. In fact, just last week we saw that Brazil moved to the yuan, and in fact, Brazil and China was struck up a deal so that they can start paying in the yuan instead of using the U.S. currency. But again, the big news today is that Mexico is now wanting to join the BRICS nations, and so this is big, folks, because Mexico is one of our largest trading partners, and or Mexico actually trades a lot with us and vice versa, but they're right there at our southern border. And them getting cozy with Russia and China, and with them having so much influence and power and everything like that, that could really hamper our southern borders big time. And so, it's huge. And Mexico is just, being very, very poignant in wanting to join the BRICS nations. And so, what will be the implications of this? I mean, I can see definitely that they're going to have a lot of economic opportunities that they don't really have at the moment, with more and more of these emerging countries coming together, and again, the BRICS nations. And for those of you who don't know, BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So this will open up a lot more economic opportunities for them, and allow them to kind of expand their trade. Political alignment also is going to be greatly affected in having these as your partners. And so you're seeing you know right now Mexico has America, and they're part of the NAFTA, but I don't know how far NAFTA has gone, or if it's really even serious anymore, or if it's been dissolved, or what. But they are really seeing some very powerful political alignments, again, by having these five BRICS nations by your side, and having some really great trade agreements going and everything. Would Mexico rather trade with countries that are going to have very low tariffs and taxes versus America, who we may slap some high taxes and tariffs and everything on them for importing their goods and stuff like that? So basically, they've been opened up a whole new market. And so they may not really have to deal with America anymore. So again, increased influence, increased political alignment. Now, the challenges of some of the issues with going on with BRICS and everything, and joining BRICS for Mexico, is that they're going to have to basically align their economic policies as well as their political policies with Russia, China, India, Brazil, and South Africa. The big two being, Russia and China. Now, both of those, I mean, China is out and out communist. Russia is there and back again and everything. And then Brazil is a rather large country in and of itself. But the big one is China. And if China starts flexing their muscles and say, hey, you're going to be doing this and you're going to be doing that, then these smaller nations who want to be part of BRICS is going to have to play, the game. And so a lot of things that are taking place in China today might be moving to some of these developing countries and such, like Mexico. And so, for example, they have the credit system, or the personal credit system, where basically, are you being a good person or not? They might force countries to join that system or join other sort of things. So with that political power and everything that China and Russia wields, Mexico and other third world developing countries that are wanting to join BRICS are going to have to play the game. And so it's some serious things going on. Now, with all that taking place, again, they are right south of us. They are our neighbors. And again, if they're playing with Russia and China, is China and Russia maybe wanting to start sending troops over there for police and help and all this other stuff? I mean, things are going to get pretty tense. So you can see that and things. So with everything going on, and we're seeing again the demise of the dollar taking place and everything, we are losing credibility like crazy. The other countries are starting to sell out our T-bills and everything, basically our debt. And so we're starting to see an influx of US dollars coming back into America, which is going to cause basically our currency to inflate. And we've been seeing inflation already, but inflation is going to get probably a lot worse. In fact, a lot of speculators are talking about the summertime starting to really kick. We're going to see higher gas prices and everything due to Saudi Arabia stopping the oil and so forth, or cutting the oil production. And so we're going to be seeing a lot of that. And anytime energy is messed with, it really messes with our entire economic system here in the US. So we're going to definitely see even higher prices and everything. But one of the ways that our nation has always averted or changed or upped the economy and everything is by going to war. And something that is really troubling to me is that the US and China are starting to send aircraft carriers to the Taiwan coast. The president of Taiwan is actually here in the US doing a big tour and everything, schmoozing with the Congress and stuff. And China is not liking it very much at all. They are rather upset. But so this is really heating up and causing a lot of saber rattling and everything, specifically with China. And again, with China comes North Korea and then some of their other allies. But an interesting fact is that a four-star general actually came out and said that we will be at war with China by 2025. So that's what he's been saying. So the big question is, what do we do about it? I mean, we're not policymakers, we're not in the government or anything like that. So what is it that we can do? And biggest thing that I really suggest people doing is, if you haven't started now, start stockpiling food. Food is your best investment. Don't go out and buy all this cool guy gear and all this other stuff, first. You really want to stock up on food. And the more food you have, the better. A lot of people, I always say, to get started, focus on getting 90 days worth of food. And the reason I say 90 days is because humans will change their patterns and adapt to their new environment in about 90 days. So if you have about 90 days worth of food, you're not going to have to go out with all the crazies and the sheeple and all that other stuff. So you're able to, get out, at least stay home, bunkered in, and, be safe that way. But we are, seeing all this take place. So other things that you can do is here, get your pantry going, and then start looking at high dollar value items, because with the decline of the dollar, what we're going to be seeing, or what we're going to start needing, is what I'm calling tangible assets. And tangible assets are like what you see here. Your kitchen stuff. I am big into kitchen. I am big into food. I think it's important that everybody works on their pantry first, and then secure a means to continue that food, because one day your pantry may run out. So by hunting, fishing, gardening, foraging, and all that, by having good kitchen gear, then you're going to be able to, take care of your family for the long term. And so, things that I'm suggesting is get a good grain mill. The Nutri-Mills, what you see here, is what I have. I love it. It's the best I have. I love my Excalibur dehydrator. I love my Food Saver vacuum sealer. You'll use that a lot. And so these are things that you can do to really improve and get yourself going. So these are tangible assets. These are things that are going to last you about 10 years plus. And they're also high dollar items. Other things that you can look at is start, getting on some communication systems. Baofeng, and this is the radio that I have right here. I love this thing. And so Baofeng is a ham radio, And the great thing about the Baofeng is that you can kind of pirate it a little bit and convert it to a GRMS radio. And to get your GMRS license, it's really easy. Go to the FCC website, pay 25 bucks, and boom, you've got your GMRS license. And the good thing about GRMS is that you and your family can use these radios. But again, these are tangible assets. So getting your garden going, getting your kitchen going, and then again, another tangible asset is if you're going to start doing a garden and everything, then look into getting garden tools. Get shovels, get picks, get hula hose, which are great at weeding and everything. If you're going to be tearing up a backyard, which I really encourage a lot of you to do, then look at getting a mantis and a mantis tiller. And it was really good for the backyard gardener. It's something, they are workhorses and I love them. They're great. And so it is a really, really good tiller to get. And so, a lot of these things I know are overwhelming, and I know a lot of this is, really concerning a lot of people and things. But, what you want to do is get these things now as the price starts to go up. Because again, what we're seeing is we are seeing gold and silver rising. And so you need to start thinking about some of these things. So if you do have bills or something, or you own a house or whatever, start looking into gold and silver. Because I was listening to one individual today, and they are speculating that gold, with gold, there is the possibility that gold could go all the way up to $30,000 an ounce. And this reason is because today what happened is that several congressmen actually put a bill on the floor to basically bring the dollar back to the gold standard. Now, I know this has been floated around before and everything, but it is something that is becoming very serious. It's on a lot of people's minds and everything. And so we might see some serious consideration with going back to a gold standard. And so by purchasing and having gold on hand, then, and as well as silver on hand, during the Weimar Republic, a loaf of bread was cost at let's see, a loaf of bread cost, let me get my notes here to make sure I get these numbers right. A loaf of bread was 2 mark 50, and so, or 2 mark 50, and then by January 2023 a loaf of bread cost 250 marks, and then by the November of 1923 the cost of bread was 200,000 marks. So the Weimar Republic is a really good example of what hyperinflation is like in action. You've seen all the pictures of people wheeling around, wheelbarrows full of cash and all that other stuff. They couldn't print the money fast enough. And in fact, the printing cost more than what the money was even valued at. So we've seen the same thing in Argentina. We've seen the same thing in Venezuela. And in fact, I don't know if you remember, you may have seen in Zimbabwe, the cost of 3 eggs was 2 million Zimbabwe dollars. And so in Zimbabwe, and what we're going to probably start seeing here is they're just going to start adding zeros to our currency system. So really, think about these things, get things moving. And what I want to also talk about is that I know this is very overwhelming for a lot of people. A lot of people are freaking out. Hey, what do I do? What's going on? What can we do about all this and everything? And the best thing to do is, really sit and start researching. But again, it's hard for people to assimilate a lot of this stuff. But what I've done is I've written a book called Survive the Coming Storm, The Poor Man's Guide to Preserving Your Wealth in Economic Collapse. Now, this is something that I wrote in light of what's going on. I spotted a trend back in 2016 called the Asian Infrastructure Bank. And if you want to see who's going to join BRICS, look up Asian Infrastructure Bank and then look at all the countries who are involved. Those countries are going to be the countries that are involved with BRICS. But I talk a lot about tangible assets in this. I go over so many more other things that I've talked about than talking about here. And so look into getting that. In fact, what I have right now is, let's see here. a special going on. And what I've done is it's an autographed book. It's a 7 gig thumb drive, a credit card knife, and a P38. And I'm asking $35 for those. I think I only have 5 or 6 of these left. I need to recount that because I keep saying 5 to 6, but I'm selling this for $35 plus $5 shipping and handling. I'll autograph the book to you and everything. If you're a female, let me know because my wife has something special for you too, and we'll add that to the package as well. And so everything is pretty crazy in the world today, but the thing is that you can do something about it. You can prepare your family. There are lots of examples of families who made it through the Great Depression, because this is the direction where I think everything is going, is we're going to start looking towards a Great Depression. I mean, like it or not, folks, we're in a recession already. And so the next thing is a depression. And a lot of families made it, but a lot of the families that made it were prepared. They had a lot of food on hand. They were growing gardens. They were doing a lot of these other things. They had, back then the tillers and the plows and the shovels, and they had everything that they needed to be more self-sufficient. And that's, I guess, the key to the situation, is being more self-sufficient so that you can make it through these hard times, because it is doable. But if you're just kind of sitting there twiddling your thumbs and everything, then it's going to be very hard for you. And don't expect the government to come bail you out or help you out or anything like that. They're the ones that caused it. So they're going to be the ones who are just not going to be there. But, so it's very disturbing. And with everything that's going on in the news today, I really highly encourage you folks to really start preparing, get those gardens going, start that pantry going, and start getting some tangible assets. Start purchasing what you need now before you have to pay double the price in 6 months to 8 months to a year from now, because that's the direction that we are going. And so some of the things that I've seen actually have gone quite up in price when I was just checking some prices on things. So prices are going up. We see it. It's happening. So with all that said, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to, tune in. I hope you like this new software. I'm trying it out. Hopefully it worked well for you. Hopefully you saw everything. And, I just, thank you so much for all that you're doing. Folks, if you're new and you sat through this with me, again, I just thank you for spending this 20 minutes with me. And so do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share, and then ring that little bell so that you get notified whenever we post a new video or go live or something like that. And then to wonderful community members, let's see, what do we got here? We have Michael, we have Sherry, we have Cynthia. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. So it's just wonderful to see you guys here. And hey, KP, a little late. Hey, Sherry, that's okay. And so my CU suggests that it'd be good idea to move some of my IRA into a CD at 4% for 1 year, but I have my doubts in doing it. Interesting. I just saw a CD today. I don't know the name of it or anything, but this CD is actually offering 7%. And again, this is something that we're going to start seeing more and more, is certificates of deposit, bonds, everything are going to be creeping up higher and higher. But the thing that concerns me is, will they be able to pay it off? And the positive about having debt during the hyperinflation period is that you are able to pay these things off a lot faster and a lot quicker, because you have fixed debt. Anybody who has fixed debt during the hyperinflation situation will fare rather well, because once the dollar inflates, you're able to just walk in and pay it off with all these inflated dollars, versus if you have APR, annual, so the rate is not fixed and it's a variable rate, then you're going to kind of get screwed. So, and that's what's going to happen. But yeah, fixed rates are going to be good. But so again, look into transferring part of your wealth and savings and stuff. Look into gold and silver, and look into some of these other tangible assets that I've talked about here and things. So, but again, I don't like being doom and gloom or anything, but when I saw this news about Mexico joining BRICS, then that really disturbed me, because again, they are right south of us, and that puts a lot of other things into play that will, surprises our nation. And so That's everything, folks. I just, again, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you like this new software. Do me a favor, let me know, comment below, and let me know what you thought of it. I'm trying to be more prepared and give you some really cool videos to watch and up to the minute information and everything. So I will probably be doing a video here soon on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Robert F. Kennedy, yeah. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I'm doing some research into him, and I'm kind of liking him. And I think he's coming in just to stir the pot. So, but I want to do more research on him. He's an anti-vaxxer. He hates the CBDC, and so he's very outspoken in a number of things. The press hates him. So that should tell you something, so I want to do more research on him and see what he's like. I'm a very strong Trump person and everything. And then some big news that came out too: the FEC has rejected Alvin Bragg's petition on the whole Stormy Daniels thing. They came out about an hour or two ago saying that it was not in violation of FEC rules, which is what he is trying to do. So if there is no violation of FEC rules, I'm thinking that he will probably have to throw the case out. So we'll see. But that's everything that I can think of, folks. A lot of things going on in the world. It's an exciting time to be alive. So with that, I'm Raymond Moore, Kilt the Prepper. We'll see you. Goodbye. God bless, and Kilt on.